What is up, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing my wish list for things I want to see in the new Superman movie, because there are things that we have yet to see from Superman in live action. There are things involving his world, his powers, and the characters that surround Superman that I really want to see. And to build hype for this movie that has had very small amounts of marketing so far, I want to build the hype by sharing this wish list. And I also want to know what you guys want to see in this Superman movie. Do you guys agree with this list, or do you guys disagree with this list? Let me know at the end of the video in the comments. With that being said, if you guys are new here, make sure to check out the channel, and if you like what you see, go ahead and subscribe. I'm trying to reach 30,000 subscribers by the end of the year. We will see how it goes, but I'll be covering a lot more Superman stuff. With that being said, let's jump right into this wish list. First off, being that Superman should not kill anybody in this movie. Now, I think things like robots are on the table, but he should not be killing enemies like they did in Man of Steel. Now, I understand the story for why he did that in Man of Steel and the repercussions for that and how hard it was on his character. I understand that. But I think that in this universe, for at least a while, he should not be killing anybody. He doesn't just kill people when things get tough. I understand. I'm not trying to throw shade at Henry Cavill's Superman. I love that Superman. That is what I grew up with. I will always have a special place for Henry Cavill. With that being said, Superman was raised by the Kents, and part of that is killing is wrong. In that, it's one of the things that makes Superman more human, is that humans have this innate reaction of, you shouldn't just go kill people. And one of those things is that he feels more human than some of the humans that I've talked to in my life. And part of that is not killing people. He always sees the best, even in his villains. And I think that's important to show by him restraining himself as one of the most powerful beings in this universe. The second thing on this list, and probably the thing that's most important to me personally, is Lex Luthor in his armor. I need to see this guy in his armor one time in live action besides the CW show. Okay, don't get me wrong, the CW show one was like, okay, but a movie version of the Lex Luthor armored suit would be so freaking cool. I want to see him in the green and maybe a little bit of purple. I think the purple looks weird in live action, but the green metal suit would be so freaking cool. Obviously, Lex Luthor cannot hand-to-hand fight Superman, so he's gonna need this suit. Seeing Lex Luthor in the suit of armor it just feels comic booky. It feels right. Every time you look up Lex Luthor, you're gonna see both him in his suit, in a business suit, and him in a metal suit. You will see them probably equal. But when you see Lex Luthor versus Superman on Google, you're gonna see him in the armored suit, which just looks so cool. It looks badass. It makes him actually threatening compared to Superman. The hardest thing they're going to have to get around in this movie is creating a sense of urgency. Because obviously Superman is super fast. He, can solve a lot of his problems right out of the gate, But you kind of have to suspend your belief a little bit, and I think Lex Luthor being in his armored suit, it kind of helps there be this real looking threat, if that makes sense. But Lex Luthor, I want to see him in the suit, put some kryptonite in there. It would just be so cool. Please, just one time. The third thing on this wish list is one of the most important things to his character, and that is that we need to see at least a couple of scenes of him just doing Superman type activities. One of my favorite ones is when that very sad looking character is standing on that skyscraper and they're looking down and they're about to end it. And Superman comes in behind, and saves this young character, and Superman is just there for this character and explains to them how strong they are. And hearing that from Superman would be insane, and it's obviously eye-opening for that character, but it's such a short little page of the Superman comic book, but it just sticks with you because that's what Superman is for. You know what I mean? He is giving strength to normal people. He's literally giving hope to this person who's literally looking down a skyscraper. And there's another scene that I love in the comics where Superman just has lunch with this construction worker on a beam, and they just eat lunch together. And it's not that deep. He just, hears about his life and they connect on a human level. But that's what I'm talking about, is that Superman is, although not, human, he's more human than a lot of people. It's something like deeper when a character that's not even from this planet is taking time out of his day, which is normally filled with saving the planet, to just have lunch with a character. And obviously, if there's like a world-threatening thing, he can go help. But having Superman be friends with just normal people as Superman, not just as Clark Kent, but just these small little things that make Superman more human. Saving a cat out of a tree. Just put a scene of Superman saving a cat out of a tree. That is what Superman does. That's literally just what he does. So I hope we see something like that in the movie. At least a few scenes of just him being human as Superman, giving hope to normal civilians outside of just reaction shots when he's doing big blockbuster, superhero stuff. Now, as much as I've talked about how awesome he is in his humanity, I want to see Superman using his powers more creatively than we've seen on film so far. I mean, obviously he can go really fast. I love in the old Superman movie when he is flying around the earth so fast that he actually spins it in like the opposite direction, and for some reason that reverses time. I don't really think they play by those rules now, but something like that where it's just so creative and out there, and like it just feels so old school comic booky. That is what I'm looking for in this movie a little bit, is seeing Superman do things that are just unbelievable, but that's kind of the point, is he's a Superman. It's fiction. I don't care if the rules make 100% sense. I just want to see Superman using his abilities creatively. I mean, hell, dude, we barely saw his frost breath in the DCEU. And I love that he has that ability because it has so many different uses, especially because he also has laser eyes. He can both heat things and cool things at the same time. I'm a big My Hero Academia fan, and Todoroki is like one of the biggest proponents of what Superman can do if he puts his mind to his powers. I just love creative uses for abilities, and I really want to see him use his frost breath more. I want to see him use his super speed in more creative ways in this movie. The laser eyes, I would love to see a scene of him shaving his face with the laser eyes like they did in the animated show. Would be so cool. I would love to see a scene like that, because does it make 100% sense? Probably not. But is it funny? Is it bringing you out of reality? That's what I'm looking for. You know what I mean? So I hope we see some scenes like that using his powers. Speaking of using his powers, I would love to see a few scenes of Superman fighting these different heroes that are in the movie. As we've seen in the trailer, we see Hawkgirl and we see Green Lantern and Mr. Terrific, and I would love to see Superman kind of obviously holding back on what he can truly do and just kind of have some fun with these heroes. They're probably going to disagree on some things throughout the movie, so I'd love to see Guy Gardner Green Lantern versus Superman. I think that would be really fun to see in this movie. Obviously, you don't want Superman to be like angry and brooding, because we do not want Injustice Superman here. Okay, that's not what we're looking for this movie. And I think James Gunn understands that. But I do want to see, what would happen if these two characters fought. I want to see that in live action. It'd be really, really fun. But obviously more in a light-hearted way. I want to see Hawkgirl flying away from Superman, if they were fighting, and then Superman just beam it, and he's already like in front of her and just like waving at her, you know, and floating right next to her. You know, she's at like her max speed and he's just having fun with it. That's what I want to see in this movie, is just Superman having fun, bringing, you know, hope to the civilians of Metropolis, becoming friends with people both as Clark and as Superman, showing the humanity in this character who is an alien, and getting to see his powers and getting to see his villains' powers. Honestly, if this was a real wish list, I want to see Livewire, but I know Livewire's not in the movie, but I really want to see Livewire in live action, preferably played by Emma Roberts. That's my casting, but doesn't have to be. Or that's not who I casted. I don't even know. Dude, I don't even know how to say this name. But the girl from Maze Runner is my cast for Livewire. For Livewire, I would cast. Dude, I'm gonna butcher this. I think it's Kaya Scodelario. Scodelario. Kaya Scodelario, the girl from Maze Runner. Or Crawl. If you haven't seen Crawl, that's a good one. But I want to see Livewire in this universe in the future, if this is a real wish list. But that's what I want to see from David Cornsweet's Superman. James Gunn, I have faith. I really have faith, but I'm waiting for the marketing to start pick up. I really want to see some stuff, dude. I want to see posters. I want to see character posters. I want to see trailers. I want to see... We already got a lunchbox, but I want to see more lunchboxes. I want to see toys in the aisle. We need Lego sets. James Gunn, if you're listening to me, bro, James Gunn, please give us Lego sets. We have gotten nothing but Batman Lego sets for DC for the past 4 years, except for one Superman set this year. We need more Superman sets. Please, for the love of God, James Gunn, save us. With that being said, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Do you guys agree with this list? What would you guys like to see in this new Superman movie? I'm excited to talk more about the DCU. I want to talk more comic book stuff on the channel and do more videos like this, especially in front of the camera, and just kind of plan videos out more. But with that being said, I hope you guys subscribe to the channel, because I'd love to talk more comic book stuff with you guys and hear your guys' opinions in a positive manner. I love comic books, but dude, our fan base can be so bad sometimes, but I'd like to be somebody positive in the fan base. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoy, like the video, comment, all that fun stuff. As always, have fun, be respectful, and I will see you guys next time.